Hello everyone, Spanky here. How you doing? So, I'm a massive Resident Evil nerd, and I thought to myself, of the original 3 games, which rooms are the best ones? Because a lot of them hold a lot of special memory for me, and a lot of them are just pretty cool. So, in no particular order, I've picked several rooms from the first 3 games, which I'm going to go over. This is a personal list, but I'll be interested to see what you think. What rooms do you like? What rooms do you dislike? And hey, if this video does alright, I might make a list where I talk about the rooms I like the least. So, kicking off with Resi 1, we've got, that's right, the main hallway. I mean, come on, it's the main hall. It's where it all kicks off. It's where all the plot is. It's where you got all the lines of dialogue. Where's Chris gone? Where's Barry gonna go? Is Wesker naughty? All these things that you may find out if you play the game, and it all kicks off here. Good stuff. Secondly, the hallway with the dogs. Yay. I mean, I've got to, man. This is the room where everyone shat their pants when they first played it. I mean, it's pretty tame nowadays. And I do like in the remake, they redid this by faking you out, by not making the windows break at all. At least the first time round. But yeah, come on, it's iconic. It's got doggos in it, and the nano clip. That's very nice. Coming up next, we've got the groundskeeper room. I mean, this is iconic for 1, having the jump scare, 2, having the itchy tasty novel, book, journal, thingy-majiggy, and, just for good measure, you got some shotgun shells and a handgun clip. Ammo is very scarce in the first game. More than any other title, so any is a bonus. And then we've got the East Storeroom. So, this is a bit of a weird pick, but the first time you come here, it might be the first time you stumble across an item box, which also has some handgun clips in. But it's one of the few rooms where you revisit it, and it gets restock. Depending if you're playing as Chris or Jill, you'll get either Barry or Wesker leaving you things behind. I always thought it weird that Wesker leaves you stuff behind for Chris playthrough. Yeah, he's helping you out. That's just a bit weird. Maybe he just wants more combat data. Either way, it's nice to revisit when the hunters have appeared, and you come in here and there's much needed ammo and supplies. Yay! And finally, we have got, although I couldn't find a correct term for this room, but it had multiple names for it. Multiple names. As you can probably tell, I'm not using a script, I'm just going on the fly, because that's how I roll. But hey, you just survived a shark attack. You've drained this room, you can get in here, and what are you met with? Oh, look at that. Shotgun shells in the back. 2 lots of them, in fact. And you've got 2 lots of handgun rounds. And, of course, you've got the helmet key, which you need to progress. So hey, when you've been struggling and you're probably running low on supplies, oh, that's a sight to behold. It's delightful. Moving on to Resident Evil 2. We've got the main hall. You can probably hear this image, which I hope so, because I've got the background music playing for it. So, yay. Yeah, the music, the design of it, the camera pan when you first come in. I mean, you just take one look at this, you just know what game it is. It's iconic, man. That little statue in the middle, which in the remake leads to a Birkin fight, but in this one just has a key in it. And of course, you run through this area quite a lot, so you get very acquainted with it. And the music that plays is always a welcome listen, I find. Then we've got the hallway leading up to the police office. Now the reason I picked this is mostly because it's the first time in the series you see this many zombies in such a compact space. There are quite a number of zombies outside, but you can sort of go around these. Here, you've got no choice but to either get through them in a very tactical way, which is bloody hard to do, or mow them down. And at this point in the game, if you've got the shotgun, it's very satisfying to take about 5-6 zombies out in one blast, if you're very lucky. And of course, at the back of the room, there's a vending machine, which looks like it's got orange and green Tic Tacs on the floor. At least I always thought that. And every time I think there's an item there and there never is, and I'm always disappointed. The Stars office. I mean, you get here, you have a couple of lines of dialogue, which is all very cheesy. You get a fax jump scare. Yes, a fax tries to scare you in this game, with mixed results. You've got the Stars team picture. You've got Wesker's desk. If you search for it 50 times, you can find a picture of Rebecca Chambers in a basketball outfit, for reasons. But I like the way that each desk is a representation of the characters from the first game and their personalities. So you've got Barry's, Chris and Jill's, and Rebecca's desk. At least I think that's Rebecca's desk. I mean, it's got a first aid spray there, so I'm going to believe that it is, even if I'm wrong. If I am wrong, don't correct me. I like being right. But also, there's a locker here where, depending on RNG, you can find either the bow gun, the shotgun, or the grenade launcher, depending on who you're playing as. Plus, there's a couple of supplies knocking around for good measure. So, all good stuff. Moving on, we've got the weapon storage room. So, when this first launched, this was iconic for the time, because it's the first time that you could pick an item as one character, and you couldn't take it as the other one if you inserted this too, or this one, depending on who you're playing as. Or you could just take both if you're a greedy bastard and don't plan on doing a scenario B, which is what I do half the time when I'm playing the emulator. But also, you've got a couple of handgun rounds, a couple of shotgun rounds. You can either take the submachine gun or take the side pockets, which gives you 2 more item slots, which are both delightful. Happy days. If you're anything like me, if you're playing a survival horror and you see a room that's either got armory or weapon storage on it, you get slightly giddy and quite excited by the prospect of it. Especially if you're having a bad time, you think it's going to save your bacon. The interrogation room. Right, this is definitely more of a personal one. The reason I picked this is, back in today, when this first came out, me and my best friend were playing this, and my mate seen this mirror and was like, something's going to come out of that, and I'm going to shit my pants. And I said to him, nah, it won't be fine. It's just trying to trick you. You'll be okay. So he went in, picked up the key item that was there, walked out again, and would you believe it, a licker jumped out and scared the actual piss out of us. It was fucking hilarious. And for that reason, I think about that every single time I come into this room, without fail. So, moving on to Resident Evil 3, we've got the warehouse. Now, the warehouse is interesting because it's where you start the game. Well, kind of, minus the intro bit. But there's a couple of good items knocking around. There's a few gunpowders knocking around. There's Dario, who locks himself in the trailer. But interestingly, if you come back here later on in your journey, it changes. The trailer opens up and there's a butt ton of supplies in there. Like, loads. And more enemies spawning. I mean, Resident Evil does do room transitions from time to time, but this one sticks out in my mind. Probably because it's where you start the journey. And it's also optional. If you take the time to come all the way back here, you'll be rewarded for it. Which I always feel is very nice. Not for speedrunners though. Second up is the very next room, the warehouse office. Purely because this is kind of where you're introduced to the mechanic of ammo crafting. And also that locker back there. Got plenty of our gunpowder in it. For you to mix and match and make whatever you like. Normally I like making shotgun shells because they're pretty much the bread and butter of any Resident Evil run I find. Very much so. I mean, you can make handgun ammo if you like, but it's all about that shotty. This fixture I took during a randomizer, which is why Mikhail's there. The reason I picked the parking lot road is that statement there. Massive crash bus on top of 2 cars. How the hell did it get in that position in the first place? But more importantly, it's that tagline. Nothing especially strange here. Is that right? I'd mark down that as something that is at least just a little bit strange. But you do you, Jill. Oh, sorry, Mikhail. The zombie alleyway with the lock gate, which I could not find a name for, because it's just alleyway. There's a lot of those in Resi 3. But I like this one because, like the hallway from Resi 2 leading up to the police office, there's a fuck ton of zombies in the back. And they're not there initially. They try to jump scare you. Although, you see it's coming because you see them breaking down the barrier. So, you know it's going to happen. It's just a question of when. Which is normally when you've checked the gate. But sometimes it can do it before, because Resi 3 has a bit of RNG tied to it. Anyway, if you time it really, really well, that red barrel there, you can shoot and take out most, if not all of them, if you're very, very precise. And if you do that, it's incredibly satisfying to take out like 7 zombies in one go. Chances are that's not going to happen. It really depends on their AI. Some of them like to linger in the back, and that's really, really annoying. And if you exit and re-enter thinking, hey, I can do this again, then no, because when you come back, they're all spread out, which kind of ruins your plan. Also, for good measure, at the back of the alley, there's a number of items. I think there's a photograph and some ammo, which, you know, ammo's always nice. Then we've got the chemical storage room. I was going to put the room here before, which is like the office, but nah, I think I prefer this one. One, again, you have lots of supplies at the back, which is very, very nice, plus a key item, which kind of varies depending on the RNG of Resi 3. But once you've done that, a load of zombies come in after a bit of a cutscene, which can get your adrenaline going. And one very nice thing is, kind of like the last room I just discussed, rather than a red barrel, there's several valves, and if your aiming's very precise, you can hit them off and kill several zombies at once, and they'll never reach you. Which, again, is just very satisfying to do. And of course, if you fuck it up, then you're going to have to mow them down. You can probably get by with 1 or 2 stragglers, but it's going to be tough because there ain't much room. But for the little cutscenes, for the ammo, for the valve mechanic, yeah, this room sticks out in my brain. And of course, I would be amiss to not include at least one nemesis encounter in this one. And I've opted for the final boss, because you've got the giant rail cannon, you've got the mechanic of running around sliding the batteries in, so you don't necessarily have to go out and all out aggression. And of course, you've got the iconic line, "You want stars? I'll give you stars," says Jill as she shoots him with a magnum. I've never quite understood why that kills Nemesis in the end, because chances are you shot him with a magnum several times already, and he still comes running at you. Oh well, he's a happy little chonker. Yes. So, they're my picks for the first 3 games and my favourite rooms. What are yours? What are your least favourites? Leave a comment below. Leave a like, maybe a sub if you enjoyed this video. And maybe I'll do a worst rooms, which I plan to do, or maybe more best rooms from the other games in the franchise. But hey, let me know. If you wanted to catch and talk to me live, then you can do so on twitch.tv/SpankyRambles, where I do lots of Resident Evil playthroughs, Dark Souls challenge runs, Pokemon challenge runs, all that good stuff, and occasionally Paw Patrol if chat hates me enough. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you later. Tatty bye. Bye.